Video games cause violence. That's an argument you've heard a lot, whether it's from your parents, the internet, or the news. Everyone have said if you play too many games, you'll become violent. I mean, you're telling me that this can cause violence? Yeah, sure. But what if I tell you that there is a game that was so brutal that it was actually involved, I mean, kinda involved in a real life murder? And it's created by none other than Rockstar Games. You know, the people who created this
I'll have two number nines, a number nine large.
and this
Oh, my N-word, huh?
and this as well.
Will you shut the hell up?
Long before Rockstar cracked the code for infinite money by selling shark cards to kids with unrestricted access to their parents' credit card, they used to make very different games. Games where they pushed the boundaries and experimented with what they could get away from. Something like Bully, if you've heard of it, or in this case, Manhunt.
Hey, you're getting a real taste for this.
Manhunt is a stealth horror game developed by Rockstar North and released on PlayStation 2 in 2003, with a PC and Xbox release in the following year. On its release, the game was praised by critics for its dark setting and very graphic gameplay. It was very unique for its time, with it being so weirdly good that it earned a cult following and being recommended as a must-play title for PlayStation 2. In Manhunt, you play as a death row inmate being forced to participate in snuff films. If you don't know what snuff films are, you might have heard of dark web, and if you've heard of dark web, you might have also heard of the term called red rooms. They are basically websites or places where actual people get killed for some sadistic fucks entertainment. That's a red room, and that film is kind of like snuff film. So basically, a snuff film is very graphic, violent, where people are killed just for others' enjoyment. Hi, editing note. Do not go to dark web or search red rooms. You'll most likely get hacked, scammed, or worse, end up on some government list. This is not shits and giggles kind of thing. It's a very bad thing, and it is very legal, I think. You know how there's a proverb called curiosity killed the cat? The cat will end up in fucking jail. So yeah, don't do it. Just watch a YouTube video if you're that curious. That's all. Okay, you can continue. So when I read the description of the game, I thought, why not try the game for myself to see how fucked up it really is. And I'll be real, either I'm a psychopath or I've played and watched too many video games and movies, because this is like an average Tarantino movie. Just a quick note, when I was playing this game, I recorded it in high definition, or HD as you might call it, and the size is like 100 gigs. So I thought, why not make a video about this game? Now, I had two options to play the game. One, I can either get the Steam version, which is a broken mess, and somehow try to fix the game, or two, I played on PlayStation. I was too lazy to download a mod to fix the game, so I played it on PlayStation. I emulated basically, and wow, I regret it a lot. You see, unlike modern third-person video games where you have the right analog stick dedicated just for the camera control, they didn't do that for the PS2 version of Manhunt. Instead, they just decided to map your movement and camera controls to the same stick. So if you're moving and you want to look right side, then you have to turn right side. Unlike your modern games where you can just use the right analog stick and turn. It may sound simple, but my ape brain couldn't play it. So I turned to the PC version, and this PC version should be legal to be sold like this. To make this game unpiratable, Rockstar put some anti-piracy measures, making the game unplayable without a fixer. It's impossible to play this game without a fixer because of a game-breaking bug in the first 5 minutes. Fix your game, Rockstar. I know you're a $1 billion company, but this is the least you can do for people who love your games. I guess I should talk about the game now. As I mentioned earlier, Manhunt is a stealth horror game. So you can either cue some sneaky snitch by Kevin McLeod and stealth your way around killing all the enemies, or if you're feeling brave enough, you can just cue some Duke music and just start attacking them head on. By the way, don't do that. The melee combat in this game is like eating a brick, not fun at all. It's very bare bones, which is expected from a stealth game. You can do a light and heavy attack, and you can block by not pressing anything. That's it for the melee combat. But in the end, you're not actually supposed to fight them. You're supposed to hunt them. I guess we can say we are supposed to manhunt them. Ignoring the abysmal melee combat, we have a stealth. And it's pretty good. It may take some time to grow on you because of the gameplay. I mean, for me personally, it was very slow for the first 2 3 hours. But once I got used to it, it becomes like a second nature to you. Now, executing enemies is the core gameplay of Manhunt, and how you do it is a bit different than other games. Usually, you just walk up to the enemy behind and press a button to kill, and it's very similar to that, except you have to first follow them like a stalker, wait for your character to be ready. If you're too early, they'll sense you behind them and whack you up. But if you're patient enough, you'll get the job done. You see, killing is an art. You have to be patient. You have to first prep the guy like Dexter, and then BAM! I was joking. These criminals that you're up against are the worst of the worst. So you have to make sure that you kill them in one single swoop. Okay, so you're following them closely but silently. Now what? Well, now you need a weapon to kill. Manhunt has a lot of weapons that you can use to execute enemies. From glass shards and plastic bags to something like knife and baseball bat. The bigger the weapon, the brutal the execution. But you need to be careful if there are multiple enemies around, because small weapons like a wire or a polybag won't make a sound, but if you use a large weapon like a machete, it will make a sound, and it will put you on a risk on being discovered by others. To solve that problem, you can try luring them away, cull their numbers one by one. A brick or a can should make just enough sound to get them away from a group. Once they are isolated, just walk up to them slowly. Make sure you're not walking on gravel, because that will make sound. Once you're behind the target, just hold the attack button and wait. The longer you hold it, the brutal will be the execution. You can tell that by the lock on color changing as you hold the button. White is your hasty, yellow is your violent, and red is your gruesome. You have to aim for gruesome. Once you know what kind of style you want, just release the button at that color and this is the main gameplay loop of Manhunt. Lure, hide, and kill. Later, you get shotguns and assault rifles as well, but that time the game just becomes John Wick at that point. At the end of each level, you are giving a score of 5 stars. Your style points are based on what style of execution your character has done, with red giving you the highest. So the fourth star depends on completing the scene within a certain time limit. And the last one you can only get in hardcore difficulty. Getting 5 star in all scenes unlock bonus content, which I can't really talk about because I never managed to get more than 3 stars in any scene. I got 4 in couple, but never 5. Just watch a YouTube video or something. Lekin, as we all know, Rockstar and controversy go hand in hand like Rajma and Chawal. Whether it's the $1 million lawsuit, the infamous hot coffee mod in San Andreas, or torture in GTA 5,
Genuine government man.
or these executions in Manhunt. In July 2004, Leicestershire, England, there was a murder of a 14-year-old kid by a 17-year-old. I'm not gonna put out victim's name for this case. If you're interested about the case, you can just Google. I'm just here to give you a quick brief about the controversies surrounding him. After the murder happened, the reports from media stated that the police found a copy of Manhunt in the killer's room. So the claim was that the game influenced the 17-year-old to commit the murder. Rockstar and ELSPA, which is Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, denied it, saying the game had a strict rating of 18, which means it shouldn't have been played by any of those two involved in the case. Because of this case, the game was removed from some of the stores, but as we all know it, the more you try to hide something, the more interest it will gather. And that's exactly what happened. The demand for the game increased, and the victim's family was not happy about it, which is completely understandable from their point of view. After a few days, the victim's family hired Jack Thompson, who was an advocate against violence in video games. They hired Jack for a wrongful death claim against Rockstar and Sony, which which was eventually dropped after the police denied any connection between the game and the murder, and also the fact that the game was actually found in the victim's room and not the killer's. The killer got a life sentence and the case was dropped. The thing is, even before this case, the game was already banned in New Zealand and Canada restricted it to adults only. And in the next year, that is 2004, it got banned in Australia and Germany as well. It was also reported that Malaysia, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia also banned the game, but the source is really hard to find. So yes, that was the controversy surrounding the game. What else? Oh, that's the story of the game. Manhunt story is pretty simple. I mean, you don't really need me to explain you the story, but I have nothing better to do. Drill क्या था? Manhunt story is pretty simple. I mean, you really don't need me to do the explaining. But I have nothing better to do, and so do you, क्योंकि तुम मेरा वीडियो देख रहे हो. So I will talk about the story. The story starts with a reporting from a journalist about the execution of James Earl Cash, you, who's a death row inmate, as I mentioned earlier. Instead of being killed by a lethal injection, Cash is only sedated, and the game starts. You hear a voice giving you some instructions on what to do if you want your freedom, and the voice calls himself the director. So you pick up the earpiece and head outside, not like you had any other choice. Your first task is to kill the hunters, a bunch of gang members out to get you. You notice that everything is being filmed by CCTV cameras, and from that, you can piece up the information that you're part of some sick snuff film now.
Action.
Once you clear the area of gang members called the Hoods, Cash is picked up by people who looks like a private military group and is then dumped to next location. This follows throughout the game. Cash is picked from one location and then dumped to another. You'll see that a lot. Cash is then taken to an abandoned part of town to then a dump yard where he finally gets a gun. And then he finally gets dropped to a zoo. To spice things up, the director decides to involve Cash's family in this sick film. I mean, he acts like he didn't do it, but we all know he's the only one who could have done this.
These war dogs didn't see it my way, and they've taken matters into their own hands.
They're using them as bait, Cash. Bait. I know. I can hardly believe it myself.
Each time they spot you, these war dogs are going to execute one of your beloved family.
You can save Cash's family members, and you have to save at least one of them to progress through the story. And I saved them. I mean, I tried to save them. I successfully saved three of them. But for the last one, the fucking asshole guard, he won't come out of the building. I tried to distract him by throwing cans and everything, but he just won't come out. And then when I went inside, he spotted me and then shot the family member.
Shit, you blew it. And now she pays the price. What a bummer. You turn up alive and one of them kicks it.
To be honest, it doesn't matter if you're able to save them or not because the director just decides to kill them anyways.
You must understand, Cash. I could never let them go. Where were your family when you were facing your final moments in the chamber anyway?
Cash is angry, and you can tell them because he throws the TV. I mean, come on, man, and that's your family. You can show more emotion. Cash's main goal now is to get his revenge on the director, but the director is not a heartless guy, so he gives Cash a new family.
Well, what do you think of your new friend? You look good together, Cash. Really, you do. I'll only open any gates if he's with you, alive and well. Now, get going. Entertain me.
This next mission is all about escorting this homeless person to the next location, which is a graveyard. And you have to make sure he's alive by the end. Because if not, it's game over. Maybe I didn't mention this, but that private military guys are called the Serbians. They are on director's payroll, and after a couple of stages, they are the ones that just beat up Cash and take him from one place to another. Well, after getting our hobo friend to the graveyard, Cash tries to find a way out but is then again captured and taken to the next location, which is the asylum. The asylum, which is taken over by a gang called the Smileys, is supposed to be the final scene of the director's film. Cash is tasked to follow the white rabbit and is ambushed so that Cash gets killed and the film can be completed. But Cash has plot armor and he manages to survive. He gets out of the asylum only to get caught again, this time by the War Dogs. Ramirez, the leader of War Dogs and the gang that's after you, decides to end this with a final game. The War Dogs will hunt Cash and Cash needs to kill Ramirez before he runs away. Cash is rescued by the journalist we saw in the beginning, and she tells us the real identity of the director, Lionel Starkweather, a famous Hollywood film producer who now runs a snuff film ring.
Pull over! Pull over! Who are you? I've seen your face before.
Get off of me! I'm a reporter! I was at your execution!
Keep talking.
I've been following Starkweather's operation for months.
Who's Starkweather?
The guy that's been talking you through this whole circus of death? Look, I've got all I need to expose that sick bastard, but he's definitely on to me now. So I have to get back to my apartment, collect my material, and get out of town before I become another one of Starkweather's extras.
You can bring him down? This Starkweather?
Absolutely. This is gonna make my career.
Okay, let's go.
Huh?
To your apartment. Drive!
The next mission is to get the journalist safely to her apartment because, as you might expect, the police is looking for you. Getting the evidence, Cash tells the journalist to leave the city as she's the last hope in case he doesn't make it. And then he leaves to deal with the Starkweather alone.
Personally, thank him for my second chance. You're my backup if I don't make it. Have a nice life.
Cash runs to the train yard fighting police and the SWAT teams, where he gets captured again. Like, holy shit, I don't drink, but if I take a shot every time Cash gets captured, I would fucking overdose. The Cerberus kills the SWAT team and takes Cash to Starkweather's mansion. And just when he's about to be executed, you hear this.
Once. Maybe today I kill you, maybe not. Kill the camera. What was that? Go check it out. Maybe it is your day. Shit! What the fuck is that? Support! Repeat! Ascendant! Oh shit!
Looks like Cash was saved. And I guess he's not the only killer here. Because whatever is out there killing the Serbians, pretty sure is not your friend. This area is big and it has a lot of enemies. You can try to do stealth. I mean, I did, but it's easier to just shoot them and hide and then repeat the process. Although, like I said, there are a lot of enemies here, so it will take some time clearing the place. Once you get inside the mansion, you need to activate the elevator to Starkweather's room, and you also have to get the key for the elevator. Enemies here are loaded with shotguns and assault rifles that can shred you in seconds. Like the garden area, you will be doing a lot of gunning and hiding, so it's good if you remember some good hiding spots in case you get spot immediately. Getting into the elevator, Cash is attacked by the same thing that has been killing the server. You know how in some games the game just decides to do a horror section? Like in Uncharted 1, there are those Nazi creatures in Underground Lab and the ship. There are the Scarecrow sections in Batman Arkham Asylum. This is that part for Manhunt. I was scared because one, I don't have any weapons to defend myself. The gun was dropped in the elevator. And two, I don't know where the fuck is that creature. The map is not helpful at all. Usually you can hear the footsteps of other enemies and the map marks them for a while. But here, I don't hear anything till I'm right in front of whatever is trying to kill me. This is Pixie. In case you can't tell, it's a fat guy in a pig mask and with a chainsaw. I read a comment that Pixie might be the previous participant of Starkweather's snuff film, although he's clearly deranged, unlike Cash. To defeat Pixie, you need to find shards lying around the area and then you have to execute him. Once you do this 3 times, Pixie will just run away into the attic. The only way to kill him now is to lure him to a grate on top floor so that the grate breaks and he falls. You get his chainsaw and you can now clear the last bit of Cerberus out there hunting you. Once done, Starkweather's all alone in his monitoring room. You can just run up to him with the chainsaw. I tried but he kept shooting, so I had to hide behind the pillars. But if you run towards him, he can't do anything. So just go and attack him.
You can't. Cash, I made you!
In the ending cutscene, the journalist reports of Starkweather's death and that the police found the snuff film ring in his mansion.
At his estate at the Wapona Hills residential district. In what investigators are calling a bloody vendetta, an unknown assailant infiltrated the compound, killing Starkweather, but more interestingly, leading police to the site of a snuff film ring being run from the estate's confines. Linked to this ring is Carcer City's own police chief, Gary Schaefer, whose lawyer stated that he intends to plead not guilty.
What happened to Cash? We don't know. There is a reference to Cash in Manhunt 2, and that's about it. I mean, we don't even know what crime did Cash commit to be put on death row. Although my assumption is it's murder. I mean, have you seen this guy kill? But I think that was a good way to end the game. Just leave it up to the player to assume what happened to Cash. Maybe he survived, maybe not. We don't know. Manhunt is a good game. I would even argue that it is one of the best that generation had to offer. Although unlike GTA, it didn't leave that big of an impact. I mean, sure, it attained a cult following of dedicated people who really loved the game, but that's about it. And that also because it did something that no other game was doing at that time. Sure, violence in movies is resolved with putting adults or adults only rating, but what about video games? Rockstar was trying to see how far they can run this train without it being derailing. and Manhunt was pushing the limits of how violent a video game can be. And I think Rockstar got its answer. Because excluding the controversy I mentioned earlier, Manhunt almost caused a mutiny at Rockstar Games. In a blog post by Jeff Williams, who's a former Rockstar employee, he said that the Manhunt was a pet project of Rockstar North and that the rest of the employees didn't really want to be a part of it. This is what Jeff said about Manhunt, and I quote: Manhunt, though, just made us all feel icky. It was all about violence, and it was the realistic violence. We all knew there was no way we could explain away that game. There was no way to rationalize it. We were crossing a line. I don't know how to say this, but him saying it makes Manhunt sound like the coolest game ever. I mean, it's like the forbidden fruit kind of thing. There is also a sequel to Manhunt, although it follows a different protagonist. And in case you don't know, it got immediately banned in some countries. Like, I think it's illegal to buy or sell a copy of Manhunt in Australia. That's how bad it is. The original version of Manhunt 2 was so graphic that it got an adult only rating, which means it can't be sold on any home console. By home console, I mean, PlayStation and Xbox. Rockstar later released an uncensored version of the game for consoles, so it was allowed to release in some countries, but now it's really hard to find a PS2 copy of Manhunt 2. You can find the uncensored PC version if you look hard enough, although I don't really advise you to do if you're under 18. I want to end this video with my personal thoughts of the game. I liked it. I think I also already mentioned it. It was a bit slow for me for the first 2 hours, but later it got fun once I got used to controls in the setting of the game. As for which version you should play, I think you should go for the Steam version. It is unplayable, but once you apply the fixer, it's a great game. I mean, the fixer will take you like 5 minutes to do so. And if you wait for the sale, you'll get it for less than 50%. So yeah, try the game. If you're still watching, then thank you for watching this random guy talk about a weird, obscure, not obscure, weird graphic game. And yeah, that's about it. Smile, you're on camera. Ye butter knife, don't worry. Bye bye.